Okay, so we're waiting on GJ. Now Dax and Ran kinda weirdly fucking my idea. Also, if you were, let me see if my live is going. Okay, it's going. So if you were at the start uh, in London today, you saw me talk about this AUD/USD potential for a downside, and we did end up playing it. I had a bit of a mistake in analyzing and considering if this trade is worth skipping or not. It ended up being worth to take. I'm not gonna sit here and explain why it just ended up being a worthy trade to take. And yeah, we had this trade that we potentially missed off this towards Asian lows and the fill of the gap, but that's completely fine. Let's see what we're watching today. Let me see UK a bit, but yeah, just weird price action. I don't like this UK. We're watching GJ. We're just waiting on a bullish sign from here because we are overall bullish. We're clearly respecting bullish order flow, and from here, all I want to do is just look for continuations towards this high and these equal highs here, which should be higher time frame draw. And yeah, we have just 1 hour gap getting respected here. 1 hour gap here is just a continuation model for me on the higher time frames. And from here, all we're gonna do is wait for an entry pattern. We do have this 1 hour gap here, but if we're gonna get the entry pattern, it's gonna get closed, so we don't need to worry. But well, we had this initial move. Now all I'm waiting to see is how we behave to this bearish gap. That's pretty much it. This is gonna be our signal for taking buys. We had this really small gap here, but yeah, the trade looks really easy. Random low sweep into a 1 hour LVG, and from here we're just looking to take price higher towards London high, which overlaps with a higher time frame target. We're gonna trim here most of our position and leave runners towards those equal highs that we have. It's just a matter of, do we leave now or do we stall for news? Because we do have news today. We have PMI services, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, PMI manufacturing and PMI services are at 5, which is around silver bullet, 50 minutes before silver bullet opens. And yeah, we're just gonna be a bit cautious about this. Maybe we want to trade around those news, but if we get the model here, if we get an entry here, I'm straight up gonna take it. On DAX, I was waiting for sells because we ended up getting inverse to inverse here, another model that I have. And on this inverse, I was just waiting for a retracement, but we just ended up displacing massively, wicking off this consolidation here. So now I'm kind of still looking at continuations lower because we didn't take the low, so technically our drawn liquidity still stays intact. And also what I'm watching on euro is this 1 hour gap right here, just for straight up London continuation. So this is our analysis for today. GU, okay, GU already reached our area. I just not sure if I want to take trades like this, but I'm gonna monitor GU as well. GU again for downside, but we're pretty overextended. I would probably prefer euro if we manage to resweep this, which I don't know if it's gonna happen because we do have this really good supply with an inducement here, so it's a chance we just displace lower from here. But yeah, I'm still waiting for that 1 hour AVG that we have and a 50-minute AVG here. So if it happens, it happens. This range low is pretty dangerous, so we gotta be a bit careful about it. But I think it's just gonna get used to retrace towards our POI. So DAX, GJ and Euro mainly. These are probably the pairs I'm looking to trade. I'm also looking to trade GU, but it's weaker. Because it's weaker, it's very overextended and we don't have a proper retrace, which makes trading like this way more riskier. So still waiting on this GJ trade. If we break this high, this is going to be our entry pattern. Again, no real resistance here, should be easy delivery. But what we're probably doing is like this, when we have a bearish range, is mitigate, or how we did here, retrace, have an intention lower, either sweep or either fail again of the area and then start breaking higher. This is how it usually happens because we're fighting this bearish range. But yeah, we're still waiting to see what price does. This is definitely a valid high for us to trade off of. It's already built, it's mitigated in FVG, it's gonna be a market structure shift and an inverse, so this is gonna be a really good area for us to take our buys higher. Overall setup is a bit overextended, but keep in mind we do have the most optimal VG here, which again I still think we will continue because we didn't take that range high. If we did, I would have expected to retrace a bit deeper, but for now it's still intact. So yeah, this is pretty much it what we're gonna do. I feel like I'm probably gonna stall. It's probably gonna stall for news, but yeah, it depends. It depending. So we'll see. We still ended up having the proper bias. Price ended up printing with such a heavy delivery, with such heavy news today. It ended up printing fine. It just battled a bit around this, but this could have been a potential entry to take. This could have been definitely a potential entry, but I think it would have been risky because of the 1 hour FVG, I'm pretty sure, which is here. We needed to see this inverse before we take trades here lower. We didn't really inverse it, we wicked it. Maybe here, yeah, maybe here could have been an entry, and then just target previous daily low. But yeah, we're kind of stalling, so I'm not sure. Probably gonna be a bit more of a chill stream, and yeah, overall this is a solid idea. I do like it. We just gotta wait for price to give the necessary signs. The trade is valid, we're just waiting for an entry, that's it. Or euro, yeah, if we sweep, G is still weird. Still weird, DAX kind of big rejection, so I'm not sure I want to trade against that. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what crypto did. I haven't watched crypto in a while. Oh shit. Okay. So we had just a temporary rally apparently. Okay. Oh, and cryptos are bearish again. Okay, didn't really expect to be, but this might be just to build bullish momentum here. But it does depend. For now, it does look bearish, and gold is. Oh my god, bro. Ethereum, okay, there's a very big void to fill here. My buys were here, so I had really good buys. Yeah, but not sure exactly. We might still, but Bitcoin rallied apparently. Okay, not gonna watch that right now. I'm not gonna waste energy on crypto right now. Yeah, and I don't have money anyway to just scale in and how I should, but yeah. GG, we're still waiting on this. Yeah. I don't know if exactly if I want to stream because I feel like I could do work mid while I'm streaming, right? Even though yes, there might be a good trade. I feel like I'm also kind of wasting time in a sense because yeah, sitting for your just to wait for your setup to print is sometimes just trolled. Kind of yeah. You don't need to sit and wait for each candle to print. Like you can check the charts every like 15 minutes or so. just gotta make sure that you're checking it constantly for you to not miss your entry. So that's just what. It doesn't look strong right now, but yeah. Um, I still think, considering the momentum and the rejections we got here, we're still very likely on continuing higher. We do have kind of like a bearish market structure shift, but it's really weak. It's weak. It doesn't have momentum. It doesn't have momentum because look at price actions, which is constant. So again, we might either, yeah, on the 50-minute it does look voided a bit, so we might, if this 1 hour closes like this, it's pretty much our idea kind of gets fucked because we print this 1 hour gap here, so our idea gets pretty much fucked. And on the 50-minute it looks pretty bearish. We just had that temporary reaction kind of. So yeah, for now it looks bearish. Yes, we're still waiting on euro maybe, but we gotta be, the only thing we gotta be careful at is this range, this low, but overall we should still reach lower. This can qualify as a strong low, but I feel like this is the second phase, and if we manage to retrace here, we're just gonna displace lower towards maybe this right here. So let's see. Just look retrace it for now. I just want to see that sweep. I don't know if we're gonna get it though. I don't know, it kind of looks like a supply for me. And also this previous FVG here, so this is usually cases where we don't necessarily come back and sweep, if that makes sense. I think it's just stalling at this point for news. Gold, okay, gold. Massive meltdown on gold, like out of just straight up New York open. Yeah, it looks like an Asian plus London range sweep, but it's not a valid trade to take. So we'll see. So waiting on that GG. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go AFK a bit. I mean, I like trading, don't get me wrong, I like trading, but I feel like watching every candle print is just kinda a waste of time. It is nice, but there is work that I can do on my next goal is monetization on this YouTube, so I do need to work a bit more. I feel like right now when you wait for a setup, yeah, I mean, we have basically 2 setups that are pretty much valid. With DAX you can call it 3, but I don't know about shorting into this big ass gap. AU was clean as fuck, I ain't gonna lie, AU trade was clean as fuck, but sometimes you miss. It's the first day of the week, so we do not have to I don't know, be mad if there is no trades, or be mad that we missed one trade. It would be right. For now it looks bearish, so actually what I think I'm gonna do is stop the stream and yeah, stop the stream, record. If there's gonna be a trade, it's gonna be posted sooner or later. It's gonna be posted. So yeah, I feel like right now I just need to work more. I feel like for London it's okay for me to be in front of the chart. I'm not sure, but yeah, for now it's looking like it's bearish, so it's definitely gonna take some more time to print. And I think again price is just stalling for these news for PMI services, which are in 1 hour and a half from now. So yeah, we might, if depending on how we behave this low, we already know if we're gonna have a setup or not. If we reject hard and we wick and we close this gap, it's very likely we're gonna come back and actually go higher. But if we don't, if we form a gap around the low, it's pretty much doomed on going lower. And also yeah, we need to see price draw towards this area to fill this this bearish gap for it to be valid. But I'm still gonna let the live sit for about a couple of minutes. GJ, yeah, doesn't look like it's doing much. At least right now, what I was watching is GU, because GU, it is valid. Euro is not valid until we reach back into this area, so it's not valid for us to trade. But GU is, because we have a 1 hour gap getting respected here. And I would probably be, I'm confident in reaching lower towards this. This is gonna be our TP. If we, I don't know, we break like how I wanted to. I want to see a 3-minute gap form here, and it would be something like this. I mean, we have pre-garbage hour, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's worth taking. Maybe the order block. Yeah, on the order block, I would probably be willing to take this trade and look to target the zone. And that would probably be because, 1 second. We have a bullish losing pattern here, which is buyers getting rejected. See, buyers stepped in on this bullish FVG, and now they're getting rejected, and price is potentially forming a gap. So this can indicate, I mean, this is a losing pattern for buyers. That's why I'm generally confident in taking this. This first TP monitored, second TP, this we need a non-negotiable, partials potentially, and we have this low and this low as final targets. So we're gonna see, but I do want to see some displacement out of this. GJ is probably gonna follow GU's lead because they're related. DAX, yeah, Euro assets. I don't know if we're gonna reach back into that area, but yeah, this can be a potential trade. I do want to see how the candle closes. This is a really good order block. Usually buyers getting rejected. Strong pattern, 1 hour gap. Should be easy on reaching towards this and opening news around this level. So yeah, I'm just gonna trust. I feel like the trade is good. If it's not, it's not. And 80, what 80? Yeah, let's see on the 1 minute. Oh, exactly. We have on a 1 minute gap, so that's also good. Our lot size 13 pips. Around 2 hours, so it's gonna be 3.9. Pending order. Sell limit is gonna be here on this gap. 1 3 3 8 4 5. 1 3 3 4 8. What did I say? 1 3 3 8 4 5. Okay, 8 4 5. 1 3 3 9. 1 3 3 9 7 5. And TP is gonna be final, which is 1. I mean, not really here. I'm probably gonna put like 1 3 3 4 50. 1 3 3 4 50. So yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on this candle to close. Again, still good order block for me. It might boom boom, but wait, let's slightly think about it. Like, we do have that 3 minute, but again, I think 1 minute holds relevance here. I think this is kind of an open gap. It doesn't really matter. I'm thinking a bit. Yeah, I'm probably gonna take this. Looks good to me. My intuition validates the trade regardless of this. I don't think it's a case where this average getting inversed really matters, because buyers already got rejected and we saw some momentum out. But yeah, I'm just gonna trust that. Fuck it. I'm just gonna wait on the candle close. Oh shit. Should be fine. We'll see. What do you do? Oh, did I press record? I did. Okay. For me, it's more like an intuition play here on this trade. Okay, of course, the trade idea has rules behind it, and it's built around rules, but it's just a bit entry is a bit unconventional, unusual. So that's where my intuition kind of steps in and tells me this is a good trade. This 1 minute VG still looks really good here. If we displace with displace it would be. But yeah, let's see. I wanna see. Wanna do this just for clarity. Clarity. Um, I wanna see exactly. Yeah, so this should be our main TP, or at least non-negotiable partials on this level. Okay, here, and then we're gonna have this probably. Is this where actually our actual TP is, and I can't move it, and we're gonna have another line here, just like this. And yeah, we're chilling. Looks really good here how we fill that gap and how we're leaving lower. It's just a matter of yeah, tapping our entry basically. Again, intuition play. I just trust my gut here. Trade has volatility, but when it comes to entry, I trade a bit more intuitive than usual, right? So it might just displace. That can happen as well. If we reach this low, I'm gonna delete my order because I do want to see this order block get tapped soon as a potential reaction from here. This again, this FVG looks really good. So set 3 minute order block and a 1 minute FVG, or we might just displace, right? That can also happen as well. Or this order block can be a target for news maybe, but yeah, we're gonna see. DAX is kind of struggling. It might break lower from that. Euro again broke lower. As I said, let me make this smaller. Euro did break lower of the supply, which I said here because it looks like a good supply. And GG is following Geo's lead. If Geo is going down, GG is gonna do probably the same. So we're waiting on that really good retracement here. I want to see first. What I want to see is how much we're getting on this. Around around 1.8, something like that. We have our main TP, which is a non-negotiable partial level. I mean, not main TP, but it's at a level we gotta trim at. We gotta trim a big portion of our position. This order block still looks really crisp to me, so I'm just not gonna overthink and just let it flow. Again, if that low is getting taken and reacted of, I'm not sure I'm gonna keep my order. Entry could have been entry taken anywhere else, not really, because we see 3 minute is balanced. We see 1 minute, yeah, not really volatility anywhere else besides this. Now we have this, which might hold this FVG. So at this point, I don't know if we're gonna come back to our entry, but it's fine. That's completely fine. Considering the sharpness we got, we're probably gonna retest actually this order block on the 1 minute, which is probably this as well. So yeah, this yeah, probably this is gonna be our next entry here, but I'm not really willing to chase price. Like already I have pretty shit R on my area where I look to trim, so I'm not gonna try and chase too much. It's probably gonna retest the inverse and just hold from now, or we come into that 1 minute, but it does depend, because we did inverse this 1 minute. I still see this as a really good order block, even if it lacks momentum. The move lacks momentum. I don't really think, I still believe in us going lower from this. It's a very important area where Buyers got rejected twice, once here on this move and second here on the third move. So buyers are definitely stepped in here, which means they have break-even orders, and what price does is come to mitigate those break-even orders. Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. Because think about it, early buyers stepped in both here on this and this. So on this bullish FG they stepped in. Where do they have their stop losses? One below this low, and now they're in drawdown. What price? Why this is a good entry is because it's the area where buyers entered off this order block, and price usually comes and mitigates break-even orders when going lower. But I feel like this can be a case where we just hold this inversion, since we also inversed it. As I said, 1 minute gap looks good here to potentially hold, and this order block looks as well good, but that doesn't invalidate our entry. Like, there's a possibility we either displace from this or we come back into our entry and then displace. So two things can happen, but like now, for now it's looking like it's respecting that 1 minute, which is fine. Yeah. I very rarely take order block entries. When I do it, it's because of this pattern that we have buyers getting rejected not once but twice here of this bullish FVG. So this instantly makes a really relevant price point, a really relevant entry for us. So the entry pattern is indeed valid, even though it's slightly weirder than usual. It is indeed valid, so we're gonna hold it and just trust, to be honest, because I do trust my analysis here. What might happen is we might come back and resweep this highs, but I don't think that's gonna happen until we reach those lows. Getting a pretty strong reaction, but again, we're trusting. There is no reason not to trust. This is why we're rejecting of this. Really, this is low resistance liquidity here. We do have some 5 minute gaps here. We do have this, which we can potentially react off, but again, I'm still looking for that juicy R, because here's a place where I'm kind of forced to look for the juicy R, because for me it's invalid to take my entry lower because we're sacrificing too much R. So I'm kind of positioning myself in a scenario that's beneficial for me and respects my rules here. And yeah, we're just trusting. If it's a loss, it's a loss. I still think the trade idea is worth. It's valid. It looks good. My intuition approves it. Low resistance liquidity run. Even though we are slightly chasing price, it does not matter in this case because of behavior on this low and how we respected that 1 hour gap. We should probably easily continue lower towards running this liquidity, which is low resistance liquidity, and overall drawing towards that higher time frame draw that we have, which is overall this. I would say probably this as well, but it's up to price still. So yeah, we're gonna see what it do, but for now it looks really bearish. I don't really expect to react long term until we reach this reclaimed 4 hour. Until we reach that reclaimed, I'm not expecting a reaction because of price. I don't think we're tapped in, no, we're not just yet, but it is fine. We're still gonna tap that 1 minute FVG, and then we can potentially even scale in on the inversion here. We still have 1 hour before news. I'm still expecting price to relatively deliver lower ones. What it does most of the times in cases like this is deliver lower and then potentially reverse and come back here, and then for the next day potentially continue lower again. But this move, even it's a small move that we can benefit off of. That usually happens in a scenario like this when we can potentially reverse, but we still, before we reverse, we usually have that move lower onto manipulating sell side, right, and tapping a POI. So I think for now, for pre-news, this is gonna be draw, and after we reach into this, we might react higher and come a bit more. For now, we have this 1 minute, so there's nothing to worry about. Now we might see that reaction higher and then the inversion. So gap to gap is kind of, yeah, for me I still like this 1 minute gap here. It's a really good area. Yeah, If it taps us in, it taps us in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Or if it loses, it loses. It's not a matter of controlling the outcome. That's not for you to handle. It's a matter of controlling the trade. Is the trade fine? Yes, I do think it's fine. If it's not, I'm gonna learn at the end of the day. So does it really matter what the outcome of the trade is? It doesn't. It doesn't. This again, our entry still says intact. It still says valid. Again, very low resistance, a very low relevance bullish entry pattern here on the 1 minute, so it's not a reason to worry, it's just a retracement. Let's see if our order block entry that I very rarely do is gonna play out fine this time. But it's just intuition here, to be honest. Really good order block. And again, low resistance. We're gonna pay attention to these lows. We're not gonna look to take trims unless we see some bad behavior around those lows. But our main areas here, and we're gonna have runners towards higher time frame targets that we have. So yeah, it's a pretty simple trade. Continuation, and this I talk about this a lot of times. This is a strong low. These are lows that you do not expect to get taken on the first move, right? In cases like this, what price reverses on and uses as liquidity is usually the POI, not the low. It's a case where I used to get chopped so many times because I would target this low and price would come into this 4-hour VGN reverse of that. So that's why this becomes an area for us to take trims to have generally main TP. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just a pattern for strong resistance usually. It's good that we're slowing down. I still do want to see, and I still think we're gonna tap that 1 minute FVG or the block entry. Let's see if it plays out. We are really close on trading also, but it has no real reason not to tap it. It's just too beneficial to do that. On second target we get 3R, so we're gonna pay attention. But again, this is I already identified this of a case where we potentially reverse before reaching our main TPs or TPs. So this is a case where especially we gotta be careful at trimming, at getting reversed on before our TP gets hit. Okay, now we're tapped in. Let's see. It's still an intuition play, so I'm just trusting my intuition here. That's pretty much it on this entry. But technically it is also valid because we did inverse. We're just taking our entry in an unusual spot, if I can call it that. I still think we're gonna deliver. It's either we're gonna deliver to these lows or we're gonna come back and manipulate. But this I already manipulated liquidity, so these lows didn't manipulate liquidity. So this is where we have a bit more liquidity to be drawn towards. As I said, we still think we're drawing lower before PMI services, and after PMI services, we're probably gonna draw back towards these highs. This is behavior I see on this profile a lot. This is, yeah, basically a London range continuation, and then after the London range gets slightly played out with reverse. But yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm still, yeah, not looking like we're massively respecting our entry, but gotta trust the trade, bro. Gotta stop trying to control everything. If it's a loss, I'm gonna I'm just gonna take responsibility for the loss and refine my intuition. I still think intuition is fine over here, but maybe not, because apparently price is not really respecting our entry for now. But again, still here, this is not the only area of relevance, because why this entry makes a good spot is because of all these inversions or all those bars getting rejected around this area. So we're gonna see. But for now, we had this 1 minute entry. Does it have relevance? Not really. It just reacted of this and a 1 minute gap that got fully filled. Not really. And if we break, I'm gonna scale in maybe. But for now, it is a pretty sharp rejection. Not something you generally want to see, but not something that invalidates the trade either. It would be nice to see this order block get wicked now on price close like this below it. stop loss is again safe. Why stop loss is safe? Because the place where we placed our stop loss rated liquidity before, so this is a high that has protection because of this. So this is instantly a good high to place it at, because we had the previous rate on liquidity. These also, this had, so that's why this low started protected here. We see that, right? We see that is the same scenario but explained on the bullish side. This low was a good place to place your stop loss below because it rated liquidity before. So a really nice thing to pay attention to. But for me, still low resistance liquidity run. This is like a trendline liquidity. Now we're seeing that intent. Now it matters if we see this inverse. I do want to see this inverse. And if we inverse pretty strongly, I might scale in. Okay, we're getting that wick. Okay, I just said I just said that it would be nice to just wick that over the block. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, bro. Hey, chill, bro. Let's think about scaling in here. I'm not sure I want to scale in right now. I feel like I do want to see this also getting validated. I don't want to eagerly scale in. It's not necessarily a trade I would scale in either. But for now we're just waiting, right? 0.02% in profit. But we're getting a good instant reaction. Now it's probably gonna ping pong between this and this. Now it's a matter of who's gonna hold. If we all obviously want to see bearish PI get held here and inverse this, and if we inverse this, then I'm gonna scale in. But it's again a battle between sellers and buyers. That's exactly what it's doing here. But apparently for now, my intuition was right on this order block entry for now. And again, bias is valid, trade idea is validated for the 1 hour. You have trade is valid, definitely valid. Just entry was a bit more unconventional, unusual to the classic entries I take. And the reason why I took it, even though it's unusual, is because my intuition validated it. I use intuition mostly for entries most of the time. So yeah, for now it's a good wick here that we got. We just want to see that lower high formed, especially on this our break-even area or on this inverse, and then continue lower to break below this. If that happens, this becomes easy target. The lows become easy target if we do that. And this also becomes easy target, which is usually where our main TP is. That 4 hour FVG that we have. But it's a big FVG, so still. Let me remove some of the drawings. Boom, boom. And now we're just chilling now. Chileanos. And we also gotta be careful a bit on news, right? But I still think we're gonna deliver through these lows before news happen, because yeah, it's just too low resistance liquidity run. We already read the liquidity into that 1 hour AVG. It's again too beneficial for price to pursue lower prices here. It's one thing I look at, beneficiality. Is that a word? Efficiency. If it's beneficial for price to do it, that's one big question I ask myself a lot of times. And for me, it's still very beneficial to pursue lower prices. But it's up to the market to confirm it, right? It doesn't mean it has to or it will. It means, for me, this is my opinion on the market, right? What the market is saying. Again, this could have been our scaling point. I just don't want to scale in too early. I do want to see this second FVG get inversed. because if price respects and goes lower and versus this is our lower high getting confirmed, right? And that is a lot of confluence for us to uh, a lot of confluence to validate more of our idea, to validate more that the market is going bearish. You don't just want to scale in any inverse you see. You want it to have a bit of relevance. It's really important how we behave to this. Wanna see GJ. Okay, ended up melting. Euros fighting a bit. DAX not doing shit. Okay. It would be not good to close the 5-minute candle like this because we have the exact same pattern we used to enter on sales from, which is sellers getting rejected. We see here, if this candle doesn't continue lower, it means sellers got rejected of the order block we just sold off to, and that's dangerous, right? But we're still letting it. I still believe we're gonna fill that lower high and form that lower high, and yeah, we just gotta see what it do. Again, as I said, for me, what is the most beneficial thing for price to do right now is deliver through these lows, take this liquidity, open news, open PMI services here, and then reverse short term to raid the stop losses here. But it can also happen the opposite way. We can also come here, open news here, and then continue lower and deliver through these lows. So yeah, it's kind of two ways it can happen. But I still think, again, I'm still gonna hold my idea for now. Nothing wrong. We're still struggling with that inverse. I do want to see it respected though. That's sure. That's for sure. And the scaling, when I'm gonna scale in, this will be on this, as I said before. That's pretty much it. Now it's just up to letting price do the talking, right? What I don't really like is that we have this kind of trend line liquidity here, but again, our stop loss should be protected because of this previous internal liquidity. But now this is not a very great open, I would say. It's a pretty bullish sign. Yeah, we're probably in the second scenario, which means our stop loss is gonna get hit, but for now we're still trusting it. Like -0.4, I think. I do want us to see how we behave. If it's a loss, it's a loss, but yeah, it's a loss. Should close probably at here at like 250, but I do, yeah, it's over. Fuck, it's over. We gotta accept what the market did here. It shouldn't have rejected the sellers here. This inverse, yeah, it's just a loss. It's a bullish entry pattern, and it's very unlikely to keep on reversing after doing this. Our entry got confirmed. Again, this is how the market confirms that you have a good entry. It rejects from it. Now that the entry is not working is the second part. That means you just got the bias wrong, or we played the wrong probabilities, but the entry got confirmed, which means my intuition was right on taking this order block entry. It's just that probably price will still stall before news, and yeah, we'll probably just stall before news, probably come back into the highs and then leave, right? We're probably just gonna get remanipulated here, but this looks like a pretty strong. Now this order block turned into a breaker, so yeah, we cut our loser short because it's no point. I don't see price reacting. The only area of reaction would have been this, and I closed around here at 0.5. We did close early. You just gotta admit when the trade is wrong and not. But yeah, 0.5 loss is still a loss. It is what it is. Technically high should stay protected, but I feel since we're overextended we're probably getting very easily taken. I don't, if I would have seen this as an area of potential, I don't know, reaction area, I would have probably, I don't know, considered it more, but for now it just looks like it's gonna hold bullish short the floor, and that's very likely gonna bid for New York today. Not doing great, but I still think it was a decent trade to take. It was valid for us to take. It's just probably the only reason why it failed is probably because we're stalling for PMI services, which is 1 hour from now. Or we can also leave lower from here and I close early for no reason and we end up protecting this high, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna come back towards this 3 minutes, yeah, it is what it is. It's still a W day. As long as I know I did the right decision, and I did, because the entry was confirmed by this bearish candle, so the entry was good. The idea was good, the trade was valid, it's just, yeah, 1 hour FVG, we should have still went lower. No real area of resistance until this is met still for me. But sometimes, yeah, we just fail, right? Every setup fails, no matter how good it is. I mean, the only downside for this was that we are overextended. That's pretty much it. But I would still see lower prices. With POI navigate, we use objective navigation with this. Should have been lower towards this, but it's probably really news behavior. So it is what it is. We still gotta keep going regardless. We were at pretty good with that. Let me open up my fund next again. We were doing pretty good before. We kind of lost the 1% since the last trade. Yeah, we were doing good. We're still doing good. There's no need to worry. We had one UJ stupid fucking loss that I taken. We had the half lose today. Today's trade I think is fine. Yeah, UJ trade was not fine. That was just a trade where my intuition was yelling at me to not take it, and I should have hadn't taken it. But this is a trade where, yeah, we just lose, right? It's just a normal loss. It's valid, entry valid, everything is valid. Buy should be lower. The reason again why we fail is most likely news, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, what can we do? It's kind of sad that we missed that really good AU trade that we had on London, but it is what it is, right? We just gotta trust. I still trust in myself. I should trust that we're gonna be able to recover even from the current state we're in, which is minus 5 point something. Even from the state we're in, I still believe that we're gonna recover. Let me see. Even from the state we're in, minus 5.5%, I still believe we're gonna recover. If we don't, we don't. But I still believe. I still trust myself. I still trust God. And we're gonna see what it do. So I'm gonna catch you next time. This was a decent trade. It just was overextended. That's basically the only reason why it failed, is because it's overextended. Maybe we see that euro sweep, but yeah, at this point it's just very likely to re-sweep again. We should have built in 10 lower and continue it, or maybe we just came and made a deeper pullback. So that can also happen. But I'm gonna update you if something happens. This was it for today. Not a long stream, but this is how long the trade took. So it is what it is. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Just the long term matters. Is my execution constant? It is. It's a core. I'm respecting my rules. This is a trade where I respected my rules, right? So yeah, we also, my close was respecting my rules, even though it's low relevance and we technically did not have a liquidity rate here, which would have made the relevance. We did have our entry getting disrespected, which is a losing pattern that I usually close on, and I still think we were successful on a good close, because I still feel price is gonna easily manipulate that high now, since we rejected the sellers here again. This is where we should have formed that lower high.